Hello and welcome to the Regulars. I'm Stacey McGonigal.
I'm Jason Ross.
Oh my gosh, it's Wednesday. We're here. What's happening? What is happening?
It's hump day. It's elbow cough. It's Melissa tooting the horn saying, let's party.
It is. What a day. There's so much to unpack today. First and foremost, good morning, everyone. And happy International Podcast Day. Fuck, Marie. We are here. We are celebrating as best we can with the best people we know.
Yeah. So it's everybody day because everybody has a podcast. So everyone gets, this is everyone's day.
Well,
Happy everybody's day.
Not everyone has a podcast. A lot of people do have a podcast. And, I'm not going to make fun. I'm proud of the work we do or the work I do. And I'll hold that.
Okay, great.
So how are you, Jason? How is life?
It's good. It's good. I woke up to a massive spider this morning, which was nice. That's great.
Great. I would love to care about that, but I have a mouse in my house and nothing else matters. I have a mouse in my house, and
I know. I got the text last night.
I saw it early yesterday morning. I had huge plans for the day. I was going to film things for Stacey Gets Rich. I'm filming them today. New video tomorrow. But a little mouse came around my little kitchen island, and I cried. I screamed. The dogs did nothing. And then my day was just about the mouse.
I know. You've really put a lot of effort into this mouse.
Oh, I have put a lot of effort into this mouse. And why would you say that?
Because your stories all yesterday led to like how your day was just completely destroyed, and I got texts about it and everything. So that's what I meant by that.
You got texts about it. I texted you after the debates about it.
About the mouse, yeah.
Okay, so you got one text about it.
I don't know what
30 p.m. No, it's just when you're just like, yeah, I know your whole day was about. You were texting me. I was like, no, I wasn't. I was hunting now mouse traps. I had a long conversation with Jan Caruana, 2 little sandwiches coming to my rescue. And to answer Samantha's question, did you catch it? No, I did not. Last night I was watching the debates, which I would love to break down because they were something of the sort. And I thought maybe the mouse was gone, and it Burger started smelling something behind my office couch here, and sure enough, the mouse started scurrying out of that. So yeah, we're good.
In downtown Toronto though, like you're in one of the like an older house or whatever too, like it's not uncommon to see mice around there.
Here's the thing, as I powder my face because I'm sweating just talking about it. I know having a mouse is not a huge thing.
It is still a huge thing. When you see it, you're like, oh my God, there's a fucking mouse in my house. I gotta put all my food in Tupperware. That's kind of where I go. I don't
have food out because I had an apartment back in the day. Thank you, Kelsey. She says she's here for the mouse content. That's very nice. In my old apartment, when I lived with some gal pals, we had a mice infestation. And so we had mice coming up through like the oven vents, like in the coils. We had mice on people's beds. Like it was a real problem. Yes.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So I have an irrational fear of mice.
Yeah.
Irrational. Like I'm ready to move.
I get it. When I lived in Toronto, there was one apartment that I had where I lived above like a fruit market. And then one morning I woke up and you could smell, and you're like, oh, there's a dead mouse in here somewhere. It's disgusting.
Where was it?
I found him under my bed. Yeah, it was the worst.
Do you just get a text?
I just got in. Yeah.
Mouse family suing. Yeah, I'm completely unsettled. The dogs. So I set up some mouse traps. I know that we could go the humane route, and that, and I hold that and I see that. But I need it to be murdered. I just need it to be murdered. I'm sorry.
Elizabeth is right. You've got mice, ghosts, and raccoons. You're living it. You basically could have like a Mr. Dress Up thing. You could have a little subway run into your house, and it wouldn't be like nice puppets of like kings and queens. It would be like, here's the raccoons are here.
And I'm like, hello, friends. Welcome. Come on in. We've got the mice, the ghosts, the raccoons. Yeah, it's a real nightmare. And I was talking to my dad, and he just he kept seeing me like move really quickly if I heard something. He was like, relax. He did not care. And that's
I hadn't told him about the mouse yet. He was just like, there might be an intruder in your house. Relax.
No, my bird safety is more for comedic material. Yeah. So this morning, I slept with the dogs. I'm just fixing my hair. It's really not doing what
you brought the dogs to bed. You didn't go sleep beside the dogs.
The dog slept on my bed on me, and I closed my door, and I had a bunch of traps laid out because my dogs will eat the traps, right? And I woke up this morning. No, here's the thing. I'm checking the mouse traps, and when you have dogs and you set mouse traps, and there's like peanut butter on them. So I wake up and it's like I have 4 kids and we're all late for school. Like I was like, Burger, no, Vic, stop. Please don't. Looking for all the thing. Vic got stuck in a trap. Burger barfed on the rug. Or he tried to barf on a rug and I had to like move him away. Like I've already lived a million times this morning.
Come on in, kids. This is how you clean up dog vomit. Get out some vinegar.
Staring at me and I knew something was wrong. And he just went, like that noise, like he was dry heaving. And the thing about
dogs, like 8 mouse traps popped out of his mouth.
I honestly was like, please barf up the mouse. I kind of just wanted it to know that it was dead. Anyways, I've got more traps coming today.
Maybe the dogs scared the mouse out of the house.
It didn't.
That sounded like a Dr. Seuss thing, but maybe the dog scared the mouse out of the house.
It didn't. It didn't at all. But anyways, so I'm dealing with this mouse, and it's a nasty little adventure. Yeah,
you're practically Cinderella's as Elizabeth. I feel like once Cinderella hit 20-something, she just set out the mouse traps and was like, get out of here. I've got my dress. Get out.
I am such a baby that, and I just want to pivot really quickly. Melissa is loving this shirt, by the way, and I'm letting that land. Thank you, Melissa. I'm assuming the comment is for me, although Jason's really bringing it with his style.
I just put on a shirt, just a shirt.
Yeah. Me too. We just put on our shirts,
one leg at a time.
One leg at a time. Yeah, it's been quite the time. I was gagging setting up the traps. I was like gagging.
Why? Because of peanut butter?
No, I love peanut butter. I had it that morning. I don't know.
I don't understand. Why were you gagging? Because of the thought of catching one?
The thought of it. The thought of a mouse. Like I did this kids show. I think I said the story before. And they needed me to like interact with a mouse because it's all about these kids pranking me.
Oh, that's fun.
No, because I'm so scared of mice. I had to go in afterwards because I had to scream. I had to be like surprised.
Yeah.
And I had to come in for post-production to scream like a normal person because the scream I did on set was too guttural.
It just goes to that Toast of London yes thing, except you're doing screams instead of yes. Because
my real scream was like, whoa!
Fuck Marie.
Yeah. Fuck Marie. Truly.
Stacey, this is a child show. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's more like it.
That was, but all that to say, we're here today to celebrate International Podcast Day. Now, Jason started celebrating a little early, and I think maybe if you follow us on Instagram at the Regulars Podcast, you would also know what I'm about to talk about. And that is Jason decided to go rogue and do some Instagram stories to celebrate. Okay.
I want you first to define what go rogue means, because I put up a picture on our account.
Okay.
That's rogue.
Jan says, is it really mean that I'm hoping the trap gets the mouse during this pod? No, I actually hope so too. I hope there's a snap and it's not one of my dog's nose in the trap. It's the mouse that's murdered.
Wait a minute. Are your traps still out and the dogs are just rogue?
Yeah, they're sleeping right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Burger barfed twice. He's just like, ugh. And you know what it was? He barfed up sticks because he needs to eat sticks. And I go, okay. But you know
He had
who
one of those nights, just sticks, and then he woke up in a bed with Stacey and another dog and was like,
what the
party.
Last night was crazy. I think I had like 6 or 7 sticks.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Oh god, we all live together.
I'm not doing sticks again. I'm not doing sticks again. Okay, so let's get into what I would like to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is Jason going rogue on the Instagram. Now,
still wanted the definition of going rogue, but yeah, okay.
It means when you go, I should do this. I'm the one who should be doing this. Okay. Shayla just said kids bop party rock. So Jason
in their house tonight. Yep.
Okay. Jason posted a photo from when we were younger and thinner and really thriving. And it couldn't be more blurry. It couldn't be more off-centered. I think you've cropped people out
on purpose.
Okay. There's a million photos of us that are great, that are in HD, that don't require someone to be cropped out. Not only is it so fuzzy, then you go, do you know what I need to put on this is a kids bop song.
Yeah.
I go, how creepy is that now that we're in the hashtag of International Podcast Day with two blurry and with a kids bop song?
Yeah.
It doesn't say at all what type of podcast we are.
I think that's I disagree completely.
Then he tags me in my personal account as if I'm going to put that on my stories.
No, I did that one because I wanted you to see it. So can I rebut?
I would want nothing more.
Great. So International Podcast Day. I was like, great. What spells out our podcast more than anything? Our friendship and that I do things really weird. So I was like, great. I'm going to find an old picture and remind Stacey. This is before us even in tour code. Like this is like the beginning of a budding friendship.
Yeah.
And I put up a picture. I had to crop people out because it wouldn't make sense to put the other people in this picture. And it's not like I have perfect pictures of us back in, this is like 2007 or 8. So it's a long time ago.
Yep.
Put it up there. I know it's blurry, well aware of the fact, but I was like, great.
Well, why not make mention to it? Why not go like, why not be like, today is International Podcast Day, and my podcast with my best pal would not be celebrated correctly if I didn't post a weird photo. Like, why wouldn't you give context? Because then people can get in on this joke.
Sure. It wasn't a big joke. It was just like, great, I'm just going to throw this picture up. I didn't think it was a big deal. But then most friends would be like, oh my God, where'd you get that picture? That's so fun. Oh my God, look how young we look. I instead, about 5 minutes later, get 5 stories berating me publicly. Is how my friend responds. It's not, oh, it looks nice. It's like, okay, that was Jason. He's a piece of garbage. And it couldn't be worse. It couldn't be more blurry. It couldn't be cropped worse. I'm standing like a weirdo against the wall. What the hell is happening? This guy is, and he went rogue. He went rogue. I didn't have anything to do with this. I'm washing my hands.
And I believe, if I'm not incorrect, that photo had a pregnant woman in it.
Maybe. At a bar.
I was just like, there are. She goes, the post really has levels of intrigue. Says Megan. Shayla says, poor Jason. Not poor Jason.
Yeah, it is. I didn't get a text. I didn't get a hi, hello. I got 5 stories in a row being like, Jason's garbage.
No, I never said you were garbage. I said, if I could add
you know what? I'll put that to the Supreme Court justice of our community and say, look, subtextually, does it say
justice of our community?
Well, we're going to talk politics today, right? That's going to happen.
We're going to talk politics, but I didn't call you garbage. First of all, I couldn't believe, I was like, I want you to succeed on these platforms. I think I've said this time and time again. I think you're one of the funniest people on the planet. I think you're
great on these. I do great. You know what? I don't. You know what? Social dilemma. I'm getting off of social media. I'm done with it.
Great. I don't even think you're technically on it. You also posted on your own timeline.
Yeah.
But you don't go like, I've been doing this podcast with my friend. You don't give any context. You just go, the regulars. We have an Instagram. You didn't even tag the Instagram.
Why would I have to tag? I went, yeah, I get that. But then I went right to ours and I put up one on ours.
It wasn't even like, hey, I've been doing this podcast and I'm getting this out of it, or you should check it out. We go live. Like, it wasn't personal at all. Like, it just.
No, it was a Happy International Podcast Day. Here's ours. Check it out.
Yeah. But you weren't even like, this podcast is with my best friend. We go live. It's so fun. We make sex magnets now. There was no context. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh.
This is my last one though today. This is it. Happy International Podcast Day.
My last one. I'm proud of you. I just am really. I was proud of the main.
I've already sweated through this shirt. Like, it's already sweated through.
Why do you think you're sweating so much?
I don't know. It's whenever we do this podcast. I got to talk to a therapist.
I agree. I've been telling you. What?
It's just funny to me.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't think it's insulting to like.
It's not insulting. I think I told a friend the other day. I was like, "Hey, man, you
should talk to somebody.
You should talk to someone because we're all going through it. We're at the 6 months mark. We're all going through it, man.
Hey, man, you should talk to someone.
Yeah, fucking.
You fucking talk to someone. I love how you're telling someone to talk to someone and you don't even talk to someone. You have no leg to stand on.
Don't need it.
There's nothing more frustrating to me than people go, yeah, I do. Well, I did therapy. I did a few weeks and, it really figured me out. Oh, it really figured you out. Like, I know therapy is expensive, but so I'm not saying like when we have to take breaks, which I absolutely financially have to as well sometimes.
I'm on that break.
Solved it. When people are like, I solved it. I'm like, no, you didn't. In fact, I think you're worse. That
I don't know. I'm like a Rubik's Cube and look at all the colors are on the right side. I'm good.
Kelsey just said, what if Jason just quit the podcast now? His video just went black. I'm wondering, I wonder if I would just pick it up and go.
I think so.
Yeah, but anyways, so did you watch the
debates?
Yeah.
I didn't watch them live. I watched them after I watched them after.
Did we talk about it on the podcast? And sorry if I'm wrong before we get into the debates. Did you watch or have you heard about Buddy? Did I tell you the baker from TLC who had a bowling alley accident on his hand?
No. A bowling accident on his hand seems.
It wasn't Ace of Cakes because that's the one I like. What is this Buddy one? It was on TLC.
You mean like Buddy the Italian chef guy or whatever? I know this guy. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't know he was still around. Like, that was a long time ago.
He has a bowling alley in his house because he's super rich or whatever.
Yeah. Cake Boss.
That was it. And so he was like, a pin was stuck or something in his like on the bowling alley. And accident, and a thing came in like and stabbed his hand like 3 times.
Oh,
through
wow.
his hand.
Okay. This is gross and terrible.
I know. Anyways,
he seems like I don't know. I never got a read on that. I used to watch Cake Boss way
an
back.
Asshole? He just seems like a full asshole, man.
I used to watch it like, when we were hanging out in bars with pregnant women and like around that time. And
I don't even get rude about it. Cause I was like, so when I saw that photo, I was like, yeah, there was a pregnant. Who was that?
Are you asking me who that was?
No, you don't have to tell me. You can tell me afterwards. Okay. Go on. What were you saying?
I don't remember. I just remember like I could never get a read on that guy because it was like he was super friendly, but I'm like, I don't know. In real life, I think this guy has like that stuff hidden behind his eyes of like,
oh yeah,
don't cross me. But I could be wrong. I've never met him. He seems like a nice guy.
You think the TLC baker man doesn't have freaking skeletons in his closet? Yeah, I think he does. Dare I say? Yeah, no, I've never been a fan. Now, Ace of Cakes.
I don't know Ace of Cakes.
Well, you're missing out. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the debates last night because I hunkered down with Mouse in house, and what we're not going to say anything that hasn't been said, but what a shit show.
Yeah, I think shit show was the word terminology probably used by most. Like if John Oliver had like a montage, it was probably just newscasters being like, shit show, shit show, shit show, shit show.
Are you wearing pants on that Zoom call? Shit show. So yeah, it was something else. I couldn't believe it. And it's one of those things where I watched it while being on Twitter. Because I love watching things as you feel like the whole country is
burning. It's crazy because you're watching it through one of two lenses, and that's making it worse too. And it's like, I don't know.
It was really disheartening. And what was like really, Elizabeth says the debates felt like I was watching The Real Housewives.
That's where we are though. Like this is because I watched it with my wife and I was like, what else do we expect? Like it's about sensationalism. And they said afterwards, they're like, I don't even think we should have any more because this has just turned into like, it's not content. It's not really about anything. There's lies, there's talking over each other. There's personal insults. And it's really watching a high school drama now in a sense, but it's like,
let's also not forget that the president of the United States would not condemn white supremacy.
And yes, it's insane.
It was
but I'm also sure there's people out there that be like, no, he did. He started off with saying, yes, of course that's wrong. But like, okay, but then the
white supremacist, when he said like, stand by.
Yes, stand down, stand by. Yeah. Yeah. Which again, people are going to defend that. And it's like, okay, what am I doing here? What am I doing here?
Exactly. Like, Jameson said one of his favorite debate tweets was men are too emotional to be president. Agreed. The debate felt like three dumb men, white men, fell down a hill and still had to give a presentation. Like it's like someone shoved all three of them down a hill, and then at the end they land at their podium and they just have to spell their name out loud, and they all struggled.
But they all did whippets just beforehand.
They all did whippets, yeah. I couldn't believe it. And then it was like, well, who won? And I'm like,
chaos.
Chaos. I love how the mic in your shot is the brightest.
It's lit. It's
saying, this is your time.
The sun's coming in at a weird angle right now. That's all.
Go for it. Go for it, Jason. Yeah. So like, I mean, it was really sad. It was really upsetting. I mean, my mouth was like agape when he was like, well, who do you want me to name? And it's like, for Trump, when they were like, do you defend white supremacy? He's like, who do you want me to name? It's like,
the people that were in Charlottesville with the tiki torches that were walking around that you said was good people on both sides. Those people.
People on both sides.
The Proud Boys.
Who after the debate were like, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a bunch of like English football fans that are just like, he said our name, and they're at the bar partying.
The most frustrating thing too was after the debates, I was watching CNN and they were like, we're here with some undecided voters. I'm like, who the fuck are they? Who the fuck are they? Don't let them drive home because they've lost their minds. They've lost their minds. And they're like, I think the one, like, listen, this pandemic is unbelievable. I can only imagine, like, I sit in a very privileged position as someone who can do this podcast every day, who can make rent. That's not to say that it's not like I'm sitting on a pile of money, but I know in perspectives, I am doing quite well. So I can understand like small business owners or and people like making less money and but like these voters being like, Trump's handling it. I'm like, he's not. It's people who want to. Anyways, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
You're making sense. I'm still like, I'm on the same page as Jan in our thing.
Joe Biden. Wait, hold on.
Sorry.
Joe defending his son and his fight with addiction was a very winning moment in my mind. Agreed.
But it was also a losing moment for Trump. Like that to me was like, man, everybody has to have compassion. This guy lost a son that, you know, and then he was like, oh yeah, I don't know him, but Hunter, your other son sucks. That was basically his reply.
Can you imagine knowing that you have sons, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, and you're gonna say anything about anyone else's kids?
Yeah.
Anyone else's kids? Your kids are freaking goobers. They're pantloads. They suck. You know what I mean? He doesn't even remember he has Tiffany. I can't even I thought Biden was, but like, it's also sad. And I'm obviously like, if I could vote in the American election, I'd be like Biden 1,000%. The only option.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's other people talking about how you've got to vote otherwise to get this third party going. But at this point, it's not about starting a third, getting rid of the two-party system. Not this election. We can talk about that after, but like,
oh my God,
some semblance. And I don't even want to say I get it. Like that there's people out there that support Trump, but there are, and that's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine at all. And I don't know. I'm trying not to take a side because we're just like a podcast, but it's like, you got to take a side. This is crazy. I'm just like, you've seen the parody grow. You've seen the rest of the world. Like, you're on the world stage and the rest of the world's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Okay.
And it was just, we're still like, he's great. He's fixed the economy. He's solved COVID when he's done the exact opposite for COVID. It's fucking insane.
It was wild to see a man. I even struggle considering Trump a human being. Like, I can't, but like,
I was watching him last night and being like, imagine those lizard conspiracies are true. And every time he blinked, I was like, maybe.
You know, in Total Recall, when that woman's like 2 weeks, I was like, at some point, Trump's going to go full 2 weeks, because I was like, this is not a human being. He doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't care literally at all. It was, you know, like when you're 6 years old and you get caught lying and you just say things like, it's like, where were you? I went to the moon. Oh, you were at the moon. You were in the moon. Like, he was like, I paid $38 billion, or I paid $38 million in taxes. Then I paid 29. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Sorry, I'm not making any, like, I think I'm making sense, but like,
you're making complete sense. It's just hard because this is the whole thing. Like, there's so many different points. It's just like they throw out a mess of information because every day there's something new. So when you start talking about it and you're like, great, you want to talk intelligently about it? I can't, because like, fuck, like we can go all the way back to like every day there was something to talk about that you're like, really? This is what you support? Locker room talk? Okay, you just support that? Okay, cool. That's because it's locker room talk, right? And that's like 2016. And every other day since, there's been something new, almost daily.
Did you say that was okay, locker room talk?
No, I was like that, but that was like 2016, so long ago. Locker room talk. It's like, great. Right then and there, most people should have been like, this is crazy. Bye. Like, we're not voting for you. That's crazy.
Well, it says something that, I mean, on this CNN thing, that this like debrief I watched afterwards, a lot of the undecided voters, Kel fucking no surprise, were men, because they were like, oh, well, actually, and that is what men sound like. And
yeah, low res pitch. I don't care. Low res pick. It was a great pick. You know, friends are
low res pick. Like, that's just when I hear men even trying to tell me about politics, I'm just like, all right. You know, again, I don't live in the States. Canada's, you know, there's many problems here too.
Problems, like,
all these undecided voters, I'm like, and they're all white men, and it's like, give me a break. Give me a break, please. You know, like, what about like women? Like, oh God, if you're undecided and you're listening to this, which I'm sure if you're listening to this, you are not undecided. Like, what's happening?
And if you do support Trump, I just realized, yeah, you're all gone. But that's okay.
You're gone. Sorry about it. No, you're like, there's no question. There's no question. If someone,
but that's just what it is. Like, it's so divisive in this country right now that I know people that have lost family members, and this isn't like lost them to think, but it's like the arguments are so strong that I've watched people's families divide and go, well, I can't talk to that person anymore.
Well, that's
they support Trump, or they supported Hillary.
and Biden said like, the empty chair at the table, and it's like, this is a devastating time and in many facets. And it's just like, you're just seeing a man, like exactly what Jan said, the most frustrating thing, because you can't debate a madman. And like, even talking about like, I mean, I think I'm insecure about talking about politics and things, because I just don't believe that I'm intelligent in any capacity. Like,
last week we were talking about farts in a superstore sort of thing, but like, yeah,
that's our flavor. But this is I can talk about a fart, sure, but like, I'm looking at the state of the world, and I'm like, we just can't sit back. Like, we just cannot, like,
Yeah,
so,
and Jen's not wrong. And I was going to say that too. I know it seems like it's just men, but it's white women make up a huge part of Trump's base, and that's bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White privilege. It's terrible. Tasha says, yeah, we avoid politics at all costs. Grandparents are big time Trump supporters. It's upsetting. Of course it is. And like, these are the conversations that like, you see it on Instagram, and I reshare the content too. And it's like, but we have to like turn into our families and our friends and have those conversations,
But it can't be conversations anymore, because they've also spoiled like sources and what's true and what's not true. Like, it's this world it's not about
Trump.
It is like the debate last night. There was no talk about actual issues, because it was like, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Basically, anytime Biden talked, Trump was just like, you blow goats. I've got proof. You blow goats. Tons of proof. Like, and then let me tell you about Wallace. First of all, I tweeted, and I stand behind it. What is it? Chris Wallace? Is that who it is?
Yeah.
First name Chris. Chris Wallace is a balloon full of farts. That guy fucking sucks.
A whoopee cushion.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's insulting to whoopee cushions, because they have a use and they work.
I would argue that in this debate, I would argue that balloons full of farts also have a good use. So.
What's Wallace is when you fill up a whoopee cushion and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get my sister good, and then you sit on the couch and nothing happens, and then you just start doing this to fart, and it never fucking works. And then you pull out a full whoopee cushion, you go, I was gonna sit on this and it was supposed to fart. That was him.
And then they go, great. And then it goes, oh.
Mr. President, please. Mr. President, please. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. It was terrible. It wasn't a true.
When he goes, you were, as I'm interrupting you to make this point, and he's like, oh, we have to remember, we cannot interrupt. He's like, he was doing it just as much as me. He's like, no, I don't think he was. He was doing it just as much. You better say that to him too. Like, what? What?
Yeah.
I hope there's a new moderator.
There always was planned to be a different moderator for each one.
I hope that he finished that debate, Chris Wallace, and he just like walked right off a cliff. Honestly, just walked right into the ocean, never to return. Was embarrassed.
It was like, I get the whole like wanting to drain the swamp. I understand like the thought process behind him being like, we got to get out corruption and things like that. But like, you're literally bringing in somebody that is known for being in court all the time, just for litigation. Like, the guy just loves litigation and does so many things wrong in the past. But also, like, if you owned a company, if I owned a small business and I was like, oh, great, there's a lot of difficulty in this business, because you got to keep track of accounting, you got to keep track of this. I like this guy over here. I like the way he talks. He's never done this before. I don't care. I'm going to get him to come in and run my business. I wouldn't let somebody like that run my own business. So why would you give someone with zero experience in the political realm? You go, oh, he's a great businessman. A country's not a business. So I still don't understand why, like.
But it's that problem of, if you tell people enough that you are something, they will believe that you are that something.
That's where we're at. And it's terrible. That's why, like, last night I was like, it's just sensationalism. It's just popularity. It's just whatever. Sure. That's what's going to get you voted in. Because where is the actual?
Well, I think it's removing, and listen, we're two dented cans unpacking this, and everyone in the chat is way smarter than us. But for me, it's like, he instills fear. and he somehow removes people's agency to think on their own, to look up the facts, to double check, you know, and they just have this blind loyalty, and it's people's fear and going, oh, he'll fix it. And also, like, this is someone who's on TV, who's on fucking Celebrity Apprentice and whatever, and was just like, his whole thing was, he keeps saying, I'm an amazing businessman, I'm a millionaire, like, I am a businessman. So when people say that enough, then that's just something you associate them with. Do you know what I mean?
And that actually brings up that second thing where they're like, well, maybe he did. Maybe because of all the laws and the loopholes and everything, he has done the right things. And they're like, that makes him a smart businessman. He's used all the loopholes. Yeah. I'm saying let's give that, like, say, yes, okay, great. That just goes to show how broken the system is. If a guy like that can do all of these things and pay $750 in income tax, and Chris Wallace kept pointing out in personal income tax. So I'm sure he's like, look, there's other places where I've paid taxes and I don't understand the tax system enough, but it's like, so maybe I'm not the one to be addressing this, but there is obviously something very fucking wrong with the system. If these and we already know that, like, Netflix doesn't pay taxes, Amazon doesn't pay taxes, Starbucks doesn't pay taxes, the NFL doesn't pay taxes. They don't pay, Amazon doesn't, none of them pay taxes. That's insane to me.
The amount of money I paid in taxes last year, I simply cannot. I simply literally cannot. And yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's also depressing, says Elizabeth, and I agree. And it's just so sad, and it feels overwhelming. And so that's why it's like, you know, if you have the opportunity and you're able to, it's like, we must. And
I know, we tend to avoid it on here, but this is just something, like, it's got to a point where it's like, we have to talk about this. This is insane.
We have to talk about it. I mean, you know, and not that we avoid it, but it's like, oh my God, we're dealing with it, you know, the second we log off, before we log on, and then right after we log off, it's like, it's just constantly there, and it's another thing. And that's also it, like, you know, Trump is just a full-on diversion tactic. And yesterday at the debate was a complete example of that. And it's really depressing, and it's really frustrating. And I certainly watched it, and it just, you know, yeah. And I think points should be given to Biden for being able to stand there and take it. No, but you know what I mean? I would have lost my mind.
I know. I don't know. I don't think he did a great job, but I don't think he did, like, I don't know what a great job in that realm is. Like, I wish, I don't know.
I don't know if, like,
I have personal wishes that I'm like, you know, because I'm going to say, like, I loved Hillary Clinton, and people are going to be like, well, criminal and all the rest of it. But I'm like, she was the most prepared person for that job, probably in the history of the United States. And they said no, which is, the popular vote said yes. Popular vote said yes. Yeah. And Bernie too.
Yeah. You know,
it's just too bad that
the president of the United States would not condemn white supremacy.
Nope. He's been impeached. Didn't matter. Teflon.
Yeah. And then when
he paid off a porn star, doesn't matter.
No.
And then all the things that he's literally just done wrong in office.
He's a predator. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Womanizer. Doesn't matter. He doesn't care about, he lied about this, the pandemic. Doesn't matter.
He still says he did the best job in the world because he shut the flights from China. I'm like, we all knew months before because we were sitting here going, why aren't we shutting things down? He kept a boat. I don't know if people remember. He originally kept, like, a military boat off the coast because he's like, don't let them in because my numbers will go up. And then there was deaths on that boat. Like, that's insane.
It's wild. And again, there are much smarter people that are talking about this than us. And I will include all of those links down below with everyone I've been following. And again, like, share resources, like, who are you listening to? Who's talking about stuff? Like, you know, I know it can be overwhelming, but, you know, we owe it to ourselves to be educated. And I'm including this as being in Canada, where we are, you know, there's certainly many a broken system that needs to be talked about. So I'm not sitting here being like, you know, because all the jokes are like, I'm moving to Canada.
I'm ready to listen too, because I know you get stuck in these echo chambers, and we're all like, the stuff you put out there is like, especially after watching The Social Dilemma, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just in, like, my own world, my own bubble too. So it's like, great. But it's not the source. The source that I'm getting my information from is directly from Donald Trump's tweets. And you go, okay, he's a psycho. He's nuts.
100%. And I mean, again, like Jan said, friends, even from Alberta, because we're talking about Alberta and the, it says we have Doug Ford.
Yeah.
Canada is not an unscary place. Doug Ford is, okay. Like
we would know him down here as the brother from the crack mayor, if you remember the crack mayor. And I say that if people will be like, well, don't make fun of his disease or whatever, but like, that's what he was known as. It was like, if you saw him in the media, you were like, oh, the crack mayor of Toronto.
Yeah. Doug Ford, literally when he addresses people, it's like, it's as if he just like wolfed down a chili dog and someone was like, hey, you have to speak. And he's like, oh shit. Hey, he just did something. He was just talking about, he's like, the second wave is going to be worse. We got to chill out. He was not giving any whys. They don't want to shut down. I mean, the numbers in Ontario are, high and they're back again, but no one wants to shut down the businesses. Which is also frustrating. They're like, oh, we're shutting bars down early. It's like, why don't you just shut them down completely? And I know we want to like, I know it's like small business owners and I get that. And I absolutely agree. But it's like, again, it's frustrating.
It's a lot of it is like, we're just set up to fail. And then it's really hard. So we have to look around because we're going through a pandemic. This should be difficult. Yeah. This should be a hard time. We're literally going through a pandemic.
Yeah.
But like when in the 80s, the big thing that came out, because I remember this, but like when they were like, oh, HIV.
I wouldn't remember. I was quite
young. But when like HIV came out, no one complained about wearing a dick mask. Everyone was like, great, we're going to put masks on, no problem.
Did you just call a condom a dick mask?
Yeah. That's what it is, right?
No, Jason. No.
But it's the same argument. And nobody was like, oh God, we shouldn't do this. We should make it a political issue. Everyone's like, oh yeah, HIV is very real. We should all take care.
What did you think when Trump's like, I've been the best at Corona. I got the gowns. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad he brought up the COVID gowns. We've all been talking about the COVID gowns, and I'm glad that
I know what he's talking about. And he said, yeah, I went out and I got stuff made and it was made in America and I did all this stuff. And it's like, I get it, but you were 2 months late and you've also like stripped down the power of the CDC. You've stripped down the power of anybody in charge. If you didn't like what people were saying, then you fired them and you replaced them with people that aren't built for that job. So it's like, cool, man. You're literally replacing everybody with people that don't understand the science behind it or anything like that. And even like I know that he does this just to push the buttons of the people on the left, but like saying the things like, well, science maybe, I forget what the exact quote was, but the other day when he was like, science maybe doesn't know either. And it's like, I know you're just pushing the buttons, but like, fuck you, man.
That's what he's doing, right? Like that's all he does is distraction and
push the buttons. He does a lot of this stuff on purpose. Like, it's all very intentional. I don't think he's stupid, which I know a lot of people disagree with me with, but I think he's just he's a con man. That's a fucking like he's good at like one. Like I have a friend that's good at like one thing because he read a lot of magazines about it. I think Trump is really great at the media game, and like that's what he's great at. I think he'll lie.
I think he'll lie and double down and triple down no matter what. I think he needs to be right and he needs attention. And when he doesn't get attention, he'll do anything to get it. Like he is the ultimate troll. I won't put intellect behind him at all. I think he's a complete sociopath. Complete utter. He's a total piece of shit. And it's embarrassing that his hair cost $70,000.
Yeah. And that's just another thing it's going to highlight what's wrong with the system. What's a write-off and what's not, because he was probably on a Celebrity Apprentice. He's like, great, so I'm an actor, so I can write off all this other kind of stuff. And then he took that stuff away. That's a whole personal thing.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't give a shit about anybody. And literally, it was so depressing. If you were on Twitter, were you seeing the tweets?
Well, I didn't watch it live. I wasn't going along with everybody live. I watched it. We taped it because we had a dinner with some people.
Wow, during the pandemic? How dare you?
We're in a bubble with one other family, a beautiful family, and we had a good time. Great.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. And then we had popped some alcohol, so then we sat down and drank a lot. Well, we had champagne, and then we had to It was for a celebration. This is getting off course, but I was like, well, we kept the alcohol going because watching that was like, it was hard.
Was it a birthday? Were you celebrating a birthday?
No, our friend just finished a project that he had been working on for a long time.
Great. Okay. What kind of champagne did you pop? How much did you spend on it?
Not much. We don't have a lot of money. This is why we're
okay. So was it an Andre? Did you pop an Andre?
It was a Prosecco.
Okay. What brand?
I don't remember the brand.
Okay.
Jenny, I don't know.
My friend Danielle, she loves this really cheap Prosecco called Spumante Bambino, and it's so
Spumante Bambino.
Do you know it? You know what I'm talking about?
You know why I know it? Because, and this is, again, you're so young. And Spumante Bambino actually had like a huge ad campaign for a long time. And it was like Spumante Bambino. Everybody knew, like as a child, I knew it, but I didn't know what it was. It was just like, oh, Spumante Bambino. I think it was like two adults dancing. They go, ooh, Spumante Bambino.
It really is. Like, obviously, I would be open to a sponsorship from them, but Spumante Bambino, like if you have 2 glasses of Spumante Bambino, you will truly be sick for 3 months.
That's the funnest brand to say. Spumante I want to be solely sponsored by Spumante Bambino.
You can't even say it anymore. You've lost your powers. Spumante Bambino. Oh yeah, let's not forget people drank disinfectant when Trump mentioned that it should be injected.
But that's what I'm saying. If you went back,
I was sarcastic. I was being sarcastic. It's like
you don't know what sarcasm is.
No, and you weren't,
because we watched it. That's not sarcasm.
You know what I think the frustration thing is too, and then we can move on from this. Is like, I don't know, and I'll speak from my own experience, but I've had people in my life that need to be right at all costs. To a point of it's been an unhealthy relationship.
Like convincing themselves that they're right, is that kind of thing?
I just think if you've ever been in a verbally, abusive relationship, or someone who refuses to acknowledge you or respect you in any way, like those relationships, like it's hard to watch a debate like last night, because it certainly brings up those emotions again. It feels almost like with just watching it, you feel like you're drowning because someone's not letting someone speak, and Wallace didn't do his job in moderating. So you're like, it can just be so anxiety driven. You know what I mean? And I just
PTSD sort of thing.
Yeah, you just so desperately needed someone, or I needed someone to come on stage and be like, "You're lying. Shut up." And you're lying. You know what I mean? Like, just to take control, because it was very overwhelming. And I think it brings up a lot of.
I did see a funny tweet after. Do you know who Bill Belichick is?
No.
He's he's a football coach. Yeah. But he can look like that I don't know, like the dad that probably lives. I don't know. He just looks like that dad that is tired and just finished raking the leaves. And they had a picture of him, and they were like, he just looked more brutal than ever, and it was a picture of him with the tweet saying, "Looks like Daniel Dale's about to come on in with all of his fact checks." And I was like, "That's pretty much where it's at." Like fact checking that is just a whirlwind of like, "Oh God," pulling your hair out, going nuts.
Well, I watched him on CNN, and there was a lot of things he had to say that were not true, but yeah, I think watching that was really stressful for a lot of people, especially like I think we can all relate to either a family member or someone that is Trump. Terrible. Oh man. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about it today. Feel like we had to. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I imagine. But again, like it's all about money in the end, right? And the ratings for that show last night must have been through the friggin' roof. And that's what he's going to brag about again. And he's like, my presidency, people watched, they cared, ratings through the roof.
It's just so crazy that, and I said this in a tweet, and I really do mean it. We need to be kinder to ourselves, because it is unbelievable that Trump, Wallace, Biden will leave that debate thinking they did a good job. And I have cried and ate McDonald's at 2 p.m. and thought I wasn't a good actor because I didn't do a yogurt commercial audition great.
I saw, didn't you tweet that yesterday?
Yeah, but it's like the things I've beat myself up about or think I'm not good enough in, like especially women, like God, if you want to do something, do it, because these fucking idiots are running for the running for the presidency of the United States, and they're fools. It's just wild. Just whatever you want to do in life, just do it, because God damn it, it's so wild. It was,
we can't be far off of, I mean, there has to be a female president.
There has to be, huh? We've tried multiple times.
And then she got called a criminal for stuff that I think like Trump's family has done. Like, they got busted recently for emails on a private thing. I'm like, isn't that the whole reason why Hillary lost the election?
Do you think Trump's going to win again?
I don't think he's not going to win again. I'm not going to be surprised either way, to be honest.
The vice president debate?
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
That one's going to be, I mean, because I think that Pence doesn't have a Trump bone in his body with the media stuff. So it's going to be an actual debate, I think.
Pence is such a piece of
Kamala can rip people apart.
Good. And I need her too. We need a woman to fucking take over.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. Oh, God.
I don't know if this is anything else, but for sure, Snake King is confirmed from Boston, because Bill Belichick is from Boston. So
as we peel the onion. Yeah. Anyways, what a goddamn time. And what was really funny to me, and I'll just bring this up, was some celebrities on Twitter that I were following kept saying, "That's it. I'm not watching the debate anymore. Have fun, everyone else." And then kept tweeting about it. And I was like, just leave then. It was so irritating.
It's fine. Everyone was just texting about their frustration or tweeting about their frustration. And it was like,
nothing more frustrating. It's like someone going, while the debates were happening, my biggest pet peeve were people on Twitter going, "I'm not even going to watch it. It's not worth my mental health." It's like, well, then why are you tweeting about it? Why are you on the internet? Get off. Go.
Let frustration. Yeah, but let frustration ring right now. Like, I don't know. It's the same thing as like, oh God, that pizza. Like, because this was me last night. Because we had guests, we ordered this pizza that was kick-ass. I had
again. I will remove you.
I'm sorry, I'm drinking bubbly water.
Unlike the debate, I will mute you. I will have no problem.
But it's the same thing as like, I was like, oh God, I can't eat another bite. And then you slowly put pizza in your mouth, because for sure I ate so much pizza last night. It's like, just, it's human nature.
Yeah, I was laughing at myself, because I was like, oh, I'm going to watch the debates tonight. And then I was like, do I make a layered dip? Like, that's what I was thinking about. I didn't. I had some soup.
Not to go take a U-turn right back to politics, but my big thing with politics is I want to have conversations with people that are
have varying opinions.
Yeah, because I want to know, like, cool. So like, just explain to me why you're back, and then because I want to listen. I want to be that center that's like, great, I understand your side and I understand why you're doing it. Because right now, I just can't understand why some of the things that are happening, how you could possibly be like, that's my guy. Like, I just don't understand. So I'm a little lost. No, that came from somewhere. I was going to say at a certain point, but now I forgot what it was.
I think 2020 has been a year of, obviously, like, a lot of reflection. We're isolated. We're by ourselves. And I think there's a lot of, like, people not wanting to look at themselves.
One of the things, sorry, it just popped into my head too, is like, there's obvious, like, it's so, the hypocrisy with this Supreme Court justice seat is so obvious. So like, I just want to talk to someone and be like, because I get it. Trump, people are right. He's like, no, you voted me in for 4 years, so I should do it. But I'm like, yes, but you, not even just you, but even, is her name Amy Coney? I can't pronounce her name. Coney Barrett? Amy Coney Barrett? Is that her name?
The Supreme Court nominee?
Yeah, who they want to seat there. Even there's a clip of her 4 years ago saying, like, you should definitely not fill that seat. And she's speaking to it for the exact same reasons. It
doesn't matter. We need to remove, like, hey, well, you said this thing 4 years ago. It's like, well, they didn't. It's not now. So let's just remove it. I don't care if you found an interview. I don't care. You're a liar. You're a liar. Everything's the fucking worst. Everything's on fire. I don't believe a goddamn word anybody says. And it's such a waste of time to be like, can you believe in 2014 they said this, but now they're saying something else? Yeah, I can believe it.
I understand it. Thanks, Nick Barrett. But what I want to get at is, like, because I know people that are definitely following these people. And I just want to be like, I want to sit with them and be like, can you just like tell me like what is in your mind and why are you thinking? Do you not see the hypocrisy in that? And then how do you explain that away? Because that's great, but like, and then you go, well, you know, it's politics and everyone fights. I'm like, if that's your reasoning, that's insane.
Yeah, it's just like it.
We've set precedent 4 years ago. Like this isn't long ago. Yeah.
Well, they're all
great. We're great at talking politics. Great at it.
I don't care. I mean, we have to. Everyone needs to start talking about it. And like, we are an example of people that are stumbling through it. And I am like open to criticism. I'm open to resources. Like I'm actively, looking to educate myself. I grew up in a house that was not talking about this sort of thing. And I just think, I know it's uncomfortable. I certainly feel uncomfortable. I don't feel obviously like the smartest person who should be talking about this, but we have to. What are you laughing at?
Because Snake can just put in like a pretty ominous 2020 isn't over.
Yeah, but I mean,
we know.
But there's a lot of like Black Lives Matter, like that movement is incredible, and it's uncomfortable to look at, and it's at yourself, and it's uncomfortable to look at the effect of white supremacy on you and the systems in which you work and operate. And it's uncomfortable to look at that, but we have to. There's no option. So I know we're not the best people to be talking about this, but like, if anything, I hope that like, if you're listening to this and are just as uncomfortable, like just try and have some conversations with your friends, with family. And again, like share resources and we will do the same because we have to. There's no other option now. We look out our window and the world is on fire, and it's some days, and today is one of them. It's very difficult to like talk about anything else than that, and so that's just it,
Yeah.
And again, we're two fucking dented cans. We want to talk about sex magnets. Okay. Is the fruit bowl on the fridge? What's happening? Denise,
what's a lemon? Denise, what's a lemon? I don't even know what today is.
What would be a lemon?
I don't know.
That's just a quickie. It's like your lemon water in the morning. Let's just get it down.
Yeah.
Unrelated to that, I was laughing at the podcast as I was editing it because it was interesting for me being like, yeah, we'll like make these magnets and it will be like, ooh, like maybe like this weekend. And your interpretation of that was Denise, excuse me. You were so frustrated. Anyway. Yeah. So what an episode. What an episode. Hopefully we did okay.
I know.
I just keep thinking about those undecided voters that CNN was interviewing, and I was just
You're right. Like I was gonna say, I think it's okay to be undecided, but it's not right now. It's just not. It's not okay.
Just not. Again, I'll say it another time. And I know the president of the United States is a white supremacist. He just is. He's racist. It is. He would not condemn white supremacy. Right. So what the actual hell,
I mean, there's a lot more to this than what we're putting into it. Obviously we're not.
That's the fact. He didn't. So
that stuff's 100% true. Unfortunately, for some people, that's not a priority, and that's wrong. So but it's just like because there's other things, and you're like, great, we're not going to specialize in every single issue that they deal with as a president. What's that?
If you vote for Donald Trump, you're supporting a racist. That's just it.
That's true,
and that says a lot about you. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Snake King, but it's a red flag.
Here's the thing. It's like, I just look at the amount of, look at yourself and think of the red flags you have for dating somebody. Like I won't date someone with garbage shoes and who wears like fabric, like flip-flop sandals. I'm not dating that person. I'm not dating that person at all.
Red flags.
That's a red flag. That's where I'm at. Okay. Can you imagine being like, I wouldn't date someone with flip-flops, but I don't know, Donald Trump, I don't know, maybe he didn't mean that. No. Please. Garbage. But so if you're listening to this, again, youtube.com/the regulars, you can watch. I'm wearing a very fun blouse. And Jason's wearing a very nice shirt. But we will include on our YouTube and on our podcast episode, if you're listening to this, a bunch of resources that I have been loving on the gram, and just like some people that I think that you should all follow for more information.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So, and we will share all these resources, and I ask you to share the same, let's just let's just be the best people that we can be, because that's all we can do. You know what I mean?
So today's International Podcast Day. So happy International Podcast Day to you, Stace. And it's also apparently Orange Shirt Day. Don't know what that is, but today's orange.
To honor the Indigenous children and families impacted by the residential school system. So
is it
Shirt Day? I would have worn.
Yeah, me too. Didn't know that.
Yeah, well, we'll share all the resources on our Instagram as well about that, so we can support. And we adore you all. Thank you for this heavier episode. Wow, we really did it. I'm proud of us. Two white people with the most privilege. I'm proud of us. Oh my God.
That debate was nuts. Like that was that's like the amount of content we put into this. That debate was a mess. Shitstorm.
No, I'm really trying to stop. It was a shitstorm. I'm really, the thing that is not helpful is going, it's unbelievable. It is believable because that is the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's true.
We'll be back on Friday, as per usual at 12:30, so you can watch with us or listen with us. We'll be back. Is there anything? Thank you to those who have. I'm just going to do a mini plug on the old Stacey Gets Reish. I have a new episode coming out tomorrow. My first Get Reish update. And on Sundays, I just post some silly vids, so you'll be hearing about my mouse incident.
Very fun.
Do you think?
Yeah.
YouTube.com/Stacey McGonigal. And yeah, there's that little plug. Anything else?
I'm going to go change shirts.
What do you think you're going to change into?
Something that's not all sweaty. I don't know.
We love that. We live and we love and we learn. Okay, so we'll see you all on Friday. Thank you so much. You're the best. Bye.
Bye.